Good evening and welcome to the Green Room, and especially for Dave and Mick and Brian, they have actually clubbed together and bought a kettle. I just have to say, well, hello and welcome to the kettle, because they've actually bought a kettle. Now, cups is going to be something completely different because there'll have to be another collection for cups. Anyway, on with the show, and tonight my first guest actually is somebody we had on. Like I said to you before, we're having people back who helped us launch the Green Room, and I'm delighted to have back with me tonight Brendan Scott, and Brendan of course is from Belturbet. Brendan, great to have you back.
It's great to be here, Paul. Thanks very much.
It's been something like 6 months. You were on one of our first shows.
That's right.
And we had a great crack, yourself and Paul.
Yeah, it was great.
We had a great laugh that night. And now tonight it's about the musical career of Brendan Scott.
So it's a short interview.
Just give us a bit of a warm up now.
Yeah, well,
not as long as me, but you're playing a long time now.
Yeah. I suppose I got interested in music when I was about 12 or 13. My whole family was musical.
Yes, yeah.
In fact, my dad was showing me a photograph of the Market House that's in that new book that I just did, and he said that his father used to leave instruments in there. He was in a marching band, but the whole family's musical. My sister and my brother, and I wasn't really very interested in music because all I heard when I was growing up, when I was young in the 80s, all the music I heard was my sister and my brother playing traditional music, my sister's pop records like Madonna, and my father's Charlie Pride records. So this was all the music I heard. So I thought music was rubbish. You see, I didn't like any of that. And then when I was about 13 or 14, I heard AC/DC, and literally that was it. And I tried to grow my hair with terrible consequences, and decided
don't go that way.
No, it was a bad idea, and so I decided to try and play music, and my parents were so supportive and always have been, and so I started playing in bands then very soon after that, and have been playing really ever since.
It wasn't all AC/DC.
Oh no! Very, very, very quickly, I started going into the sort of 60s stuff like the Beatles and the Beach Boys and the Kinks we were just talking about. People like that really kind of resonated with me. But playing in pub bands, it wasn't necessarily what you know, Paul. Like, you have to keep the customer satisfied. And so you had to do all of that stuff. So that was where it was great, Paul and I doing our own stuff with the Wags as well, and we're recording at the moment still, and we hope to go to Abbey Road actually and master our EP later on this year. Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, and but the pub gigs are great because you get to play, you get to that sweaty feeling, and where everything's really loud, and so it's great to do that as well. And then we decided we were looking over the last couple of years, because we're all at the age now, I suppose, where we're getting married, or our friends are getting married, and so we're going to loads of weddings. And I was at so many weddings, and all the bands seemed to be just the same thing, one after another.
It is. It's the same old thing.
Yeah, and so we just thought to ourselves, we were all at a wedding one night, 4 of us, all friends of in around Belturbet, and we thought, well, why don't we do a wedding band? So we thought, well, what would be a good name? So we thought the Prenups would be a good name for a wedding band.
Good play on words.
And so from then on, then we decided we got a set together. We saw what other bands were doing, thought, well, that's good, but why not try this? And so we started working out a set, got a set, and we started doing weddings, and we've been flying ever since. Yeah, it's been going great.
What sort of songs? Now, everybody knows wedding band, wedding disco. You name it, you go to a wedding and it's
Rock the Boat.
Cheer up, sleep. Fantastic songs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great songs.
You tried playing in a band for 25 years doing
Daydream Believer,
and what's the other one?
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, Sweet Caroline.
Don't forget Sweet Caroline. Someone
fantastic song.
Someone said to me they were at a wedding lately and Sweet Caroline wasn't played, and he doubted the validity of the marriage. After that, if Sweet Caroline wasn't played,
if it wasn't there,
can they really be married? We do Sweet Caroline,
and the one you mentioned there,
Rock the Boat. One of those classics.
Oh my God.
The classic Rock the Boat.
Rock
yeah.
the Boat.
Yeah.
Again, great song, but it's
You
just,
can't beat it.
it's and then in the 80s and 90s, Garth Brooks came along.
Yeah, Friends in Low Places.
Oh.
Yeah.
And again, anybody that's watching, we're not knocking the songs.
No,
It's
but,
just,
but
if
when
you try
you're doing
doing
that
that
long,
for 25 years, especially with Duxie and Cozzy, I'm telling you, thank God for the crack, because the crack was great. Now
Yeah,
it was without
yeah.
that. So what's the prenups?
yeah, we obviously at the end of the day, you know, a bride and a groom, this is the biggest day of their lives,
Yes.
and you have to make sure
Yeah.
that they are happy first and foremost. So what we always do before, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks before a wedding, we'll send them a sample set and say, are you happy with that? And they might go, well, you know, actually we'd like a few more quick steps, or actually we'd like a few rockier ones towards the end. Can you do this? Can you do that? And so we will always do that, as you know, as long as they give us enough time. You know,
Of course,
it's not like they say the night before
yeah.
they want us to do Bohemian Rhapsody or something. But if we can do it at all, we will do, because it's great for us, because you get to learn more songs, and it kind of makes the night more interesting for yourself as well. And so it's good to have new songs. So you have to be in constant contact with the bride and groom about that sort of thing, and make sure that first and foremost they're happy. And if they're happy, that will always translate then to the rest of the people at the wedding, because people go to a wedding, they want to enjoy themselves, they want to get out and dance, they want to have the crack, they want to have a few drinks, the girls are dressed up, they want to get out and dance.
Yeah.
So we have to make it
Do the dad dance.
do the dad dance. It's a great one. And so I mean, we've loads of different sort of tricks that, like, I mean, we use. You know, it kind of sounds corny, but it really works well. We give out blow up guitars, and we do a status quo set, and we get them doing like the air guitar stuff. Goes down incredibly well, and then those guitars will be out for the rest of the night, you know, and you'll see guys doing Angus Young duck walking across the floor and stuff. And so it's all about getting people out dancing and making sure that the people have as good a night as possible. Because as I say, this is their one night. This is it.
Yeah.
You got to get it right. There's no messing.
Yeah.
So you can't leave
There's no
anything to
rehearsal.
chance. No, this is it. You can't leave anything to chance, and you have to do it as well as you can. And we're lucky enough that the guys that I play with are incredibly gifted musicians that can, and you know the one as well, Paul, somebody gets up and says, I want to sing such and such a thing, and you've never heard it, you don't know what it is. And so thankfully the guys that I play with are good enough that they can follow it, and then I can kind of follow them.
Yes,
you know? And so all of that kind of thing, you have to be able to think on your feet, but also have a good rehearsed set that you know what you're going to do, but expect the unexpected too.
And with the times in it, it's very competitive.
It's extremely competitive.
So you've got to have the one up on whoever the other band is.
Yeah. And you know, I think we're really competitive. I think we give great prices for what we offer, and you know, like, we've a couple of different PAs depending on the size of the room. I always make sure that I find out. Firstly, I'll ask the couple what room, depending on what hotel are you playing, or is the wedding in. So you find out the room, and then I'll contact the hotel and I'll say, look, what's our capacity, is this? And then from there, then you can figure out what would be the best PA to use. Because if you have too small a one, you're being lost at the back of the room. If you have a too big a one, you'll blow people out of it in front of you. So you have to make sure you have all of those things right, and that it's as professional a show as possible.
Sounds great.
It's we're having a great time. I'm really having a great time.
And you the garb and all, you have the whole...
Yeah. We dress up. We dress in black with red ties, black hats with red around them, red braces, and it stands out, you know.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we were at a wedding fair there not too long ago, and there was maybe 2 or 3 bands there, and all great bands, you know. And but people were coming up to us saying, "Oh, you're the guys with the hats. You're the guys with the braces."
Yeah.
It gives people something to kind of hook
Bit
into.
of identity.
Yeah.
Bit of identity.
Yeah. So it's been going really well, you know. We've a very busy summer, and it's all going great.
Bad Moon Rising.
Bad Moon Rising. We've dropped that one.
That's another one. They're coming into my head now.
We've dropped that one. Proud Mary.
Proud Mary's made a huge comeback.
Yeah.
It's made a huge comeback with the younger.
It has, hasn't it? It's funny, isn't it? It's funny,
and
the ones
the
that come
Tina
around.
Turner version.
Yeah. We do it with the slow start.
Start.
We don't do the Creedence version.
No. And what was John Fogerty's song? I'm sure he doesn't care.
I'm sure he doesn't.
As long as it's done.
He's
Elvis did it, so that's it.
Oh yeah.
So
you can't argue with that.
That's it.
Can't argue with that.
Contact the prenups. How do we do it?
Contact us, either phone me on 086 408 5424. Or you can find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page as well, the Prenups. There's an American Prenups as well. We haven't gone transatlantic yet. If you look us up on YouTube as well, the Prenups Cavan, that'll find us. We also have an email, theprenups@gmail.com.
Right.
So all of those things can get us. We usually
give the number again. Give the number.
086 408 5424 and theprenups@gmail.com.
That's contact for the prenups.
That's the contact for the prenups. So anyone can find us there. We'll if anyone contacts us, we'll send out a set list of about 100 odd songs that we can play, a CD of 5 or 6 songs, YouTube links, all of that, and any question that they want, we will answer, and we do our best to, kind of cater to everybody.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
It's all going good.
Brendan Scott and the Prenups. Great stuff there, Brendan. Brendan, thanks for
Not at all, Paul. Thanks for having me.
We'll have Brendan in again and regular on Cavan TV, and we've got stuff in the pipeline for him probably later on in the year that we'll let you know about. Brendan, thanks again.
Not at all, Paul.
Thanks
Thank you
very much. On last week's show, we had Tara Maria Lovett in speaking about the play that she's putting on this week in the Rama, Sunday the 1st of July. Mary was along with her, Mary Cronin, and Mary very kindly put this little piece to whet your appetite. So get your tickets for the Mass Rock. It's on in the Rama Theatre this Sunday night. And I'll be back with you after this. This is Mary in action. Just take a look at this.
Now, child, Agnes, isn't it? Yes, Mother Abbotess. That's quite a tale you tell. A very sad and tragic tale. It's quite a thing to be so young and to have endured such tragedy. Yes, Mother Abbotess. The matter of the dowry to the abbey. It is customary. As I said, Mother, I've been left with nothing. Nothing at all. You may not have money, child, yet you may have something perhaps to seal your entry. Mother, can you sing, child? I think I can, Mother, after a fashion. Very well, show me. Ding. Gaudete, Christus es natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
That was Mary Cronin there, and you can see her this Sunday night in the Rama Theatre in Virginia. That's her playing the scary part of Sister Agnes. And as you know, last week we had the interview with Tara Maria Lovett. The Mass Rock, it's on this week, this Sunday night, at the... Never mind the football. Get up to the Rama and see the show with the Mass Rock, and it stars Mary Cronin, and it's written by Tara Maria Lovett. Now, luckily enough, I was in Westport at the weekend, seen the Stripes, Jules Holland, Mark Hammond. Fantastic show, fantastic arena. The marquee was fantastic. The sets was fantastic. The whole thing, the way it was laid out, was absolutely brilliant. And that bound to be back again next year with even bigger acts. And without a doubt, the Stripes would be headlining that night. But more importantly, we've got the Flower coming up here in Cavan in, well, it's a matter of weeks now. You know the countdown clock is in the main square here in the town. And if you go by, you can look at it and you can see how counting down the days to when it's going to be on. One of the stars of the Flower is coming in to see us during the Flower, and at the launch of the Flower itself last week in the Imperial Hotel here in Cavan, we were lucky enough to chat to an old friend. Well, not so much old, but an old young friend, and that was Eleanor Shanley, and we had a little chat with her. And she's coming in during the Flower, bringing in a few friends, and we're going to see what the crack's going to be like then. But that's during the Flower. Here's myself and Eleanor having a wee chat last week in the Imperial. Now I'm rejoined because this is an old friend. We go back a long way.
Less of the old, just a young friend.
Young friend. This is Eleanor Shanley, of course, ladies and gentlemen, and she's coming to visit us at the Flower, and she's going to tell us all about who's coming with her. Well, the main thing is that Eleanor's coming herself. But who's coming, Eleanor? Come on, tell us what the crack is.
A big nervous Nelly, because I have a big night coming up. I have Dedanan, Sean Kane and his band. I have Folk the Recession, which is Mick Handley, Seamus Begley, Frankie Lane, Paul Kelly and me.
Do that big again, do that big. But Folk the Recession.
Folk the Recession.
That is so clever. That's really good.
And Cian Finn, who's a young reggae singer from Galway, he's going to guest with Dedanan. And then we have...
Just going to be reggae and trad.
Reggae and trad mixed with Dedanan.
Fusion.
Because you know the way Dedanan, we've always done kind of odd things like gospel or,
yes,
klezmer music, but this time it's reggae. And Cian is our reggae man. He's fantastic. 6'7", beautiful
Oh,
man from Galway.
Oh, there you are, 6'7",
Yes.
beautiful man. Could you not do with a 5'7"?
Yeah. How good are you at reggae?
I'm good.
Okay.
I can do the beat.
You're hired.
16 beats to the bar. I'm a drummer. So
You're hired.
I can do it, right? But I can't. Where's he from?
He's from Moore in County Galway.
So-
as they call him in his kind of circles, because he does all this reggae thing. He has the dreadlocks and everything, but he's white, so they call him Milky Marley.
Milky Marley. But you see, the
As
thing
in
is,
Bob Marley.
with I've seen a fantastic program a long time ago about the Jamaican accent and the Cork and the south of Ireland accent. And they say that sometimes they're sounding just the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A langer.
So you langer. You know, you langer.
You could be in Jamaica.
What else are you doing over the flat for
Oh
us?
yeah, and we've Edwina Guckin and the two McDermott sisters, Shannos dancers, and we have Michael Harding, who's your own Cavan man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's going to read from the Tinker's Curse through the night and kind of tie up the whole night together. So we've a bit of music, dance, reading,
Fantastic.
the whole lot,
Fantastic.
reggae.
You're the second one this week that I've interviewed that's mentioned Michael Harding, so there's something in there. Yeah, honestly, I was talking to a playwright the other day, Tara Maria Lovett, who has a play coming out very soon, and she mentioned Michael as well. That Michael was her mentor.
He's fantastic. He's so witty and so
great.
droll, and he gets it. He gets the the Tinker's Curse. Is
Witty and droll.
Yeah.
Cavan man, you see.
Ah,
That's
the
what it
Cavan
is.
man.
Eleanor's going to come back to us.
I am.
To the Cavan room, the green room, the Cavan room. So
I
I'm getting
am.
excited by you.
Definitely coming
Next
to
time,
Green
when the fly is on, because
I'd
tonight
love
we're
to.
at the opening of the fly.
I'd
Eleanor,
love to
thanks a
come.
million.
Oh,
Give us a
thank
kiss.
you.
Eleanor Shanley, one of the best. That was Eleanor Shanley, and of course, as I said there, she'll be coming in to the show with us a bit before the flower and during the flower, and we'll be having a bit of crack with it. She promised me to bring in some guests to see what the crack was like here in the green room. She watches the green room. Now, we've a special coming up next week. We were very fortunate to go up, myself and Mick went up, I'm very fortunate enough to go up and have a chat with the one and only Pat Short, and we had a great time with him. Pat and Dave Cummings, his writer, was along with him as well, and he did his show last week in the Rammer in Virginia. But we have a half an hour special coming on probably next Wednesday. We're trying to get an extra half an hour out of the green room, out of Brian Daly. I've promised him an extra bag of chips if he'll do it. But here's a snippet of next week's show. David Van Stanton has the salt and vinegar ready for the extra chips. Here's Pat Short, and we'll show you the show in full next week.
A lot of our material at the time was about relationships between, because it was a double act, relationships between the mother and the son, or the father and the son, or the neighbours and whatever, the butcher. So it was kind of very much Irish scenarios. So yeah, and I think that show One Hell of a Do, which was the wedding show, we had two band members in that called Unbelievables.
Yes,
The characters.
yeah.
And then
The legend starts.
it started there basically, yeah. And after that show we did another show called That's Life. And the name Unbelievables, even though it was two characters in the previous show, followed us on. And we became known as Unbelievables and not John Kinney and Pat Short. So that's how we kept the name.
And it just-
on. It really built.
really snowballed from there.
just snowballed. I think you'd have to go back to a Late Late Show appearance with Gay Byrne.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, and that was, after that it was just, it was huge.
And with the Unbelievables and that, and we can say it now because you frightened the shite out of your audience.
Around that time. So my acting kind of career started around the same time as Father Ted, if you want to call it that.
Have you any acting? Did you go to drama school or anything like that?
No. I only ever did one
School
play.
of life.
I did one play in school, and I was a cardboard box. I was a tree. So I didn't come out for it, but I won an award for being the best tree. I just finished working with Fionnuala Flanagan on a film, actually.
Irish legend.
She's amazing,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. She's just an incredible actress, and we shot in Sweden and in Ireland, and there was some really heavy scenes, physically heavy scenes for her to do. And she was just amazing, like just so professional, and just got stuck in for someone who's got a great career behind her and has worked with everyone, Jim Carrey across the board, and no complaining, no prima donna, nothing like that. Just got on with the job
And do you feel intimidated by people like that?
No, not at all. I mean, with her, I really enjoyed working with her. I look forward to working with her on that one. Because I'd heard so much about her, and then to work with her, and I was a huge fan of actually that program she did in Boston about the brother. It's called The Brothers, actually.
Yes. I know. Yeah, it was
the kind of based on the Whitey Bulger kind of story of the brother who had the politician and the criminal. But I thought she was just amazing. Dixie's the character who wrote the Breakfast Roll song, Where Did My Money Go? There were two big tunes I had out in the past, and he'd written a few other songs as well, which are in the show. And it's not all music, but it's about him, his life, about his teacher who taught him, and people who influenced him, and his mother is there, and he goes out. I suppose what I wanted to do is, like with all the shows, is create a vibe and an environment, a place. So in this, Dixie's created a 22 and a half year anniversary concert for himself, where he's invited every musician from the area, and they're all in the audience. So the audience become these musicians, and so Dixie goes down and
I've
talks
been at
to them
gigs
all.
like that.
Yeah, I know. I've been at a few around the country myself.
That was Pat Short, and he's on next week's show, a special with Pat Short here on the Green Room, and he's coming back in autumn. He promised us he would come into the Green Room. That was filmed in the Rama Theatre last week in Virginia. Now we've got loads of exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have an all music show. No chat, we're going to have all music coming up. But that's coming up in the next couple of weeks' time. So don't forget, next week a full programme of Pat Short here on the Green Room on Cabin TV. So until next week, we'll leave you with a snippet of Ellen Shanley, who's coming back to us as well. So from Paul Cox in the Green Room, see you next week.